have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. So you know that we have the F350 and that we have been really happy with this truck. But the one thing that I was lacking on this, which I really hated, was the fact that I didn't have the kind of fuel capacity that the old 97 had, which that one was pretty decent, you know, with 57 gallons, but it didn't get the greatest mileage. This definitely gets better gas mileage, but it only has a 34-gallon tank. So that was one of the obstacles that we were looking at. And the other obstacle we're looking at is if we ever go with something a little bit bigger as far as an RV, a little, you know, further down the road, maybe a fifth wheel at some point. You know, Heidi and I kid around about that all the time, but you know, that's something that we may want to consider. We had some recall issues on this, and we've got it at the dealer today. The thing is when you're at the dealer, other stuff happens. That's right. Heidi had to get a new truck, didn't you?
We got a new truck.
Holy cow, look at this. I'm in the car and I'm riding somewhere.
How many days?
I haven't been out of the I've been out of the house one time in 38 days. And this is the furthest I've got to go. I'm pointing out stuff like, oh, look at that. And Heidi's like, oh yeah, that's been like that. So it's different for me. This is kind of awesome. So just for documentation reasons, what are we doing today?
We're going to deposit a check.
We're depositing a check into an account. And a check that was just delivered to us urgent overnight, which took a couple nights because of the weekend. So that check has a lot to do with the story that's going to start unfolding here
Today.
Today. Start unfolding today. The story is going to start unfolding. So we might have to go back to the dealer and have them take off this transport mode.
So why don't you just turn around somewhere?
Does this ride more rough or not?
No.
And this is a F350 with an 11,500 GVW. The only thing that's holding us back that we're thinking about on this specific one is the fact that it does not have the ultimate tow camera package. Meaning that I can't right now reach up and push a button and have the ability to see what's around the truck. And trust me, Heidi and I both use that feature, don't we?
Yep.
So
I can park it like I know how to drive a truck.
Yeah, because of
and
that.
nobody would know any different.
Right. And other than that, this thing is equipped almost identical to ours. It's got a crap load of torque, I can tell you that, even in this transport mode. Which we're going to go back to the dealer and see if the dealer will maybe turn that off, or maybe they can't. Maybe they're not allowed to. It's got 10. Woo, my. It's got some power, let me tell you. Well, I'll tell you what, for a 350, this thing runs smooth. The cameras is the thing. So here's the problem. Whenever the dealer starts looking for a vehicle for you, now you got to go over that new vehicle from head to toe to see if it has all the same features, or did you lose out on some features? For example, this one has the Sync 3. This one has a remote start. This has the Ford Pass system. It also has the bigger alternator. It has the higher camper package. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff. So whenever they find now one that may have cameras, it may not have that other stuff.
That's for sure.
So we got to kind of remember the list and go from there.
Well, you took a picture of that?
Of the sticker, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a new truck. We got an F350. Because I wanted the 48-gallon tank, you had to have a crew cab. You guys know how I love long beds. Not a big deal. It's only 11.8 inches longer as far as the overall length, but we did get a 4-door so we could get that bigger gas tank. The gas tank's huge. This is a 48-gallon tank, and you kind of need the 48-gallon tank when you go from a 6.2 to the 7.3 gasser. Not only do we have the 7.3 gasser, but we also got the, obviously the 10-speed transmission. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you guys that, as far as a comparison, is this is a heavy-duty, camper package that we have on here. And you can see I have an overload spring, and I have another overload spring sort of on the bottom there, and then a sway bar on the back. This one has the same. This is a camper package. This has got an overload spring on the bottom, an overload spring on the top. It's got a sway bar back there. I don't know if you can really see it. Looks kind of like it's a hose, but it's a cable, or it's a bar, I should say. But it does have an extra spring to start with. So that makes it the F350 package. We have the snowplow prep. A lot of the options in here are just like ours. Unfortunately, there were some options for this thing being on the lot that we didn't need, but we ended up getting because it was on the lot. All right, so we're back at the house with the truckaroni. Heidi drove it home, and just like last time, I'm sure, even though I haven't read the manual, you're not supposed to tow for the first 1,000 miles. So we'll let Heidi drive it for the first 1,000 miles.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or you have to fill up a 48-gallon gas tank.
Yeah, it's nice. Whenever you fill up that tank, it shows over 500 miles. Obviously,
560?
Yeah, it was like 560 miles was the range. Well, that ain't the case. Not the way I was driving it, because this break-in was seeing if it was going to be broken. Yeah, we did a good break-in on it. The initial break-in. When we got it, the first test drive we took it on it had 19 miles on the truck. A really good dealer, and so far so good. And basically, they were open, even though the coronavirus thing. They have it on their website how much they clean. Everything's cleaned. They got hand sanitizer at all their stations, and I mean everything's good in there. Not only that, but the how fast they were moving. We were done relatively quick. Not as fast as when we went to Charchone when we bought the F250. However, in all fairness, we didn't have a trade-in either at Charchone.
No.
We just, so they did the trade-in, everything. On the way home, a lot of revelations on the truck. One of them was when we took it on a test drive, it had a wobble. And I mentioned it to him, and he says, listen, it's been setting for, the truck was delivered to their lot in January.
7 days after.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
Again, you don't worry, we'll try to take care of you there, even though you say
We'll
you
have
don't
dinner
need
and
something.
Pirate Land.
Yeah, something. We got to do something for you. So, anyways, Jay had let us know that it had been on their lot since January, and it was just one of those things that they thought because it was sitting so long that maybe the tires, and they do. I mean, when my F250 sits out in the driveway for, 38 days or whatever, like I just did, whenever I get out here on the road, the thing's got this thumping in that. But then we got back to the house, and as soon as we got out, I walked to the right rear tire, because Heidi had drove home. So when I got out, I looked, because I felt it on the right-hand side, and there was a bubble. It was the belt had broke or something in the tire, and there was a bubble from the tread to the rim that stuck out. It was about that far. I mean, it was about it had to be more than a half an inch. It was definitely bigger than half an inch that if you measure from the highest point to where it should be. So we called them up. They said no problem, bring it back. You know, which we were.
I didn't give them a choice.
Yeah, she didn't give a choice. She just said we'll be back there shortly. So we drove back. They went and got another truck on the lot because they didn't have the tire and rim in stock. They took it off another truck off the lot and put it on, and we drove home and no problems. But the truck is, I think the old F350 might have been about the same speed as far as acceleration, but not. It all depends. Good. This one, yeah, sounds really good, and the shift on that 10-speed is just I've never had a vehicle that when you run it up to $6,000, when it shifts, drops to 4, runs to 6, drops to 4, runs to 6, drops to 4, runs to 6. I mean, just fast, immediate. And I mean, the power, it's like right in its sweet spot that whole time that it's doing it. And you can tell. I mean, it's just accelerating hard. We do have one other issue that they're going to have to address before we get the cap. We can get them to get us a new camera for the third brake light, because even though we won't use it when the cap's on there, maybe someday, you know, the cap may come off. And again, we might have a fifth wheel or a gooseneck or something, which we have that prep back there. Look at Heidi shake her head. And I want that camera to work because it's used for a lot of things whenever you have a fifth wheel or a gooseneck. And the problem is it acts like an old tube TV. So when you put that camera on inside, it's all glitchy and everything. But if you climb in the back of the bed and you just hit the top of the roof, it straightens up immediately. Yeah, I found out something else on this truck. Let's go ahead and show you that. And this has to do with the cap. And I think I know why our other one leaked. If you look here, I pushed these caps forward so they cover up the metal part of the bed. I can push them back, and this is the way the other one was. I could get it even further than that. Now there's a lip. There's a lip on here. So I'm gonna have to tell them when they install the new cap on here to make sure that these are pushed forward. That should hopefully keep it from leaking there. Again, it's already got rear tinted windows and a rear tinted back window. I'm not real happy about that. I did put in the puck covers for the gooseneck and everything. It's got a real cool system on it. If you do get a fifth wheel or a gooseneck, there's a lower plug here below your 7-pin, and you plug in a long cable and it connects to your trailer, and it's for yaw sensing, and that's for the trailer backup. Now, I don't need a trailer backup. Does Heidi need a trailer backup? Maybe she may need it. She don't know for sure, but that's one of the things that the truck, with the camera system, you get this now. And basically, if you want the trailer to go to the right, you do that. If you want the trailer to go to the left, you do that. That's all there is to it. And that's because they've added an electric motor that steers this for you, which also helps. It's with steering assist at real low speed. It's really, really cool. It's nice and free, a lot more than I thought. But it still has a mechanical gearbox. It's just basically like our F350, but they added an electric motor on it, an auxiliary electric motor. But in the front here, hardly anything has changed except for this here. Maybe, you know, the location. And they gave us a USB-C in addition to the USB, you know, type 3 or high speed or whatever. So they gave us a C now, which is nice. All of our stuff is USB-C for the most part. So that'll be nice. And as far as up front here, we used to be able to read the Ford, you know, the Ford logo on the outside. We could read it, but they put this up here, and it's a, I believe that's the sensor for the automatic dimming high beams, which may seem really stupid, but just like the backup thing and just like the cameras and all that, once you start using that crap, you get used to it. I had an 88 Lincoln Town Car and I had an 89 Lincoln Town Car. Both of them had automatic high beam dimmers. Man, did I get used to that. You just leave your high beams on, and when a car comes or anything, it shuts them off. It just shuts them off automatically. So up front here, for the most part, the truck is identical to what we already had. And as far as in the back, the seats are identical, the backs are identical, but you have more foot room, obviously. We're gonna go ahead and put our cargo box thing here to box this area in so we can load it up full of crap again. Here's that yaw kit. There we go. You mount this to your gooseneck or your fifth wheel, and it gives you feedback to the truck. So whenever you're backing up, again, we went ahead and bought that shock that assists on the tailgate. We got to install that. And then this is the gooseneck kit. It's got a ball in there and all these puck things and everything else. We've got to deal with that someday when Heidi goes out and buys a fifth wheel and puts a gooseneck trailer to it.
I'm trying to get it maybe done tomorrow.
The gooseneck?
No, the camera. I would change the subject.
This is the same again, but it's attached to that big giant gas tank. It's not flex fuel. You're right. We can't run 8085.
Well, that's a good thing.
Which we only did once. Even though this was washed, you can already see how dirty it is because we had to have black because Heidi wanted that cap back on there. Got blind spot monitoring. I don't really need that. Of course, here's the camera, and there's the LED light.
I might need the blind spot monitor.
They changed the back end. This is definitely different than ours now. Our old one had Super Duty kind of low, and the Ford logo was real big in the middle, but they moved it up top here. The hitch, Heidi says, is exactly the same as our old one, which kind of looks that way. I mean, this isn't a dually, so we can't, it's not a class 5. We can't do class 5 towing. And of course the springs, I already talked about that at the dealership. Running boards are identical, except they're a little bit longer. Everything's the same. Oh, the blind spot stuff, that's up here on the mirrors, and that's different.
Everything's the same.
Except for the big thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that's not the same is the big thing. Let me show you the big thing. First of all, they opened up the grill a little bit more to give it more cooling for obvious reasons. They need the air to get in here. I mean, look in there. How many of you ever seen that you can see the air filter from here? But yeah, this is the monster engine. The good part about that is you can see everything. You can get to everything. I mean, it looks a lot like my 460 as far as accessibility, except for the coil packs, the coil on plug. Other than that, everything looks really accessible like my 460 was.
Oil filter at?
Yeah, we got to look at the oil filter, see how easy it's to change. There's the electric steering assist that I was talking about. You can see it's hooked to a normal gearbox down here. But this one comes with dual batteries. And how many amps is the alternator?
397.
Yeah, 397. How did they get that much? Well, they put 2 alternators on there. That's how they do it. See? There's 1.
Oh,
there's 2.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Heidi don't know that.
It's like an ambulance package.
Yeah, so we got a ton of amperage. Of course, we got 2 batteries. The good news about that is maybe if we have lithium ion on board the RV, that we could hook up a decent charging to that. I mean, think about that. This thing could potentially send, let's say, just half of its amperage,
right,
150 amps charging back to those lithium ions. That would be awesome. Definitely need a DC to DC charger for that, though. I don't want to burn out these 2 alternators.
So what is the purpose of the dual alternators?
Because you have dual batteries, and they don't, you know how big a 397 amp alternator would be? Now here's a funny thing. Let's kind of watch Heidi's face when I say this. They already have a Whipple supercharger for this truck. A big monster that bolts on here. Currently, this truck has a decent amount of horsepower and torque. So what does it have? Well, the truck has 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque in stock trim, just like this. With very minor modifications, this thing will do 600 horsepower. It's capable of 600. With that Whipple supercharger, with supporting exhaust and fuel delivery, and of course computer programming, this engine can do 700 horsepower and 700 pound-feet of torque. So it would be incredible for a gasser to have that kind of power, but we don't need that, do we?
Not yet.
Not But I'm just kidding around, guys. This is the reason that I really like this engine is that it's a push rod engine. I understand it so much more than what I had, and if I had to work on this, I feel more comfortable doing so, that's for sure. The dealer, they detailed out the truck as far as cleaned it up really well. You can see I've got streaks on it because it was still wet when we left. Plus I used the washer fluid. And on top of that, the gas tank is full. I mean, that's something. I mean, even though gas is really cheap now, like this gas station's $1.35, that's expensive for this area. Our gas, we got $1.19 over in Canton. They're 99 cents, so that's actually more expensive. But still, I mean, it's a $50 plus bill to put in there. I mean, it's a 48 gallon tank, so nice. So we got all this crap that we have to install in the truck. That's a lot of fun. I don't know how much I'm going to do today. I think Heidi, I'll let her do the mud flaps. I'll let her do the inner fender wells. In the meantime, I'll put the radar detector back in the dash, and I'll put the GPS. I have to do the mount, so I don't want to do that. I'll let Heidi do that, and I will do something else. I'll put the I don't want to do the camera even. Do something. I'll put Heidi's backrest in there for her chair. That's the other thing I'll do. Maybe I'll put the armrest on. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do. Heidi wants to do it all. Not today though.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a lot of work today. We've been running since I got up at 6. I think it was about 6.
Yeah.
And that's it. We've been running the whole time. So what's this mean?
It means we're... what does it mean?
Yeah. So you guys are thinking what now? Holy cow, you just tied yourself down. No. Nope. We got something else we want to talk about. So we moved back out of the wind, but now we're on the porch where it seems to be noisy today. I'll tell you what, I know it's Friday and everybody's starting to get lax with their stuff. I can't say anything. We ran around today. So even though we practice safety, here's my mask. Should I have my mask on for the video? Hurry up and get the mask on. Get the corona cough.
Want me to put mine on?
Yeah, where's yours at?
It's in here.
Might get corona cough on the thing. God, this is pulling on my ears. Now it's fogging up my glasses. There we go. Oh. There you are. All right, enough of that. So Heidi's been off this week for vacation, as I may have mentioned. And as far as the truck's concerned, we have some big news. We are not going full-time right now. We want to get the house ready for market. We got to get rid of all of our stuff, and then the house will be ready for sale. We know that's not going to be very fast, and when I say very fast, we would hope that happens before winter. If we can get this house sold and all our stuff gone before winter, that's it. We'll be full time. No problem. If it doesn't happen before winter, Heidi's going to have a cold winter by herself up here.
He's going to have a hard time getting anywhere with the Kia.
I'll be sleeping in the Kia. I'll be a Kia dweller. So, the reason we say that is...
we are...
Debt-free.
Debt-free.
The house, we owe on the house.
Yep.
We don't owe a lot on the house. And we could sell the house right away.
Yep.
For what we owe on it. But the idea is, of course, to sell it at market value so we have some money in our pocket.
Yep.
But we have no bills. We have our, let's see, our utilities.
Yeah, just normal
Yeah,
stuff.
you know, our high-speed internet.
No credit card debt, no vehicle debt.
Yeah, we have our phone bill. And
just the basic.
Yeah, everything's taken care of.
Necessities.
So we're free to go. It's just, the house and the stuff in the house. Plus, we do have still the other reason that Heidi wants to continue to work for a short time. She has, decent health insurance, and she does have a surgery that was supposed to have happened
April 30th.
Yeah,
Which
so
would be in like 6 days.
Yeah, but it was considered elective, even though it's necessary. So we gotta wait for that to happen also. So the nice thing is, hopefully, that whenever they start opening the country back up again, however you want to say it, that they'll start allowing us to have garage sales. And as soon as they start letting us have a garage sale, hopefully we'll be organized to that point. But you can see how we fall behind real fast.
And we got sidetracked.
So I got all this stuff that I got to bolt onto that truck. And we got to go get the cap for the truck. I got to get the bed rug in this truck. And our son, his poor van's been sitting in the driveway for I don't know how many days.
Almost a week.
Yeah, and we replaced a blown heater hose that blew out in the driveway, and he drove down to his grandma's to mow the lawn. He drove back, and whenever he came back, he said, "Dad, my van's got antifreeze. I got underneath, and it's coming down off the engine." And I climbed underneath there. I saw where it was leaking. Then I put him underneath the van and was teaching him what to look for and where to see it, where it was coming out of. And of course, it's the traditional weep hole, for you guys that know, on the water pump. So the water pump went out. It's probably original. Everything on that van was original when we got it. You got to remember, it was like 60 or 70,000 miles. It wasn't very much when we got it. So he's wanting me to kind of point out what he's got to do. He started disassembling some of it, but anyways, there sits the van, and now I'm tied up with something else entirely different. The lawn needs mowed. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Heidi was my weather girl, and she said that the weather was going to be okay tomorrow. So, yeah. But the nice thing is, like I said, it's such a relief. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you guys probably don't know, and I want you to be well aware of it. If you won the lottery or something, which we didn't win the lottery and nobody gave us any money, but if you had a rich uncle that died and gave you a bunch of money, or if you won the lottery and you had a stack of cash there, don't think it's going to be like what we thought it would be. And that is calling up the credit card company and saying, "How much do we owe on the credit card currently?" All right, well, Domino, suck on that. That shit's paid. We're done with you. It doesn't work that way, especially during the Corona thing.
Our records indicate that your last telephone or internet payment transaction was processed using a checking account number ending in 9. If you would like to use this account for today's transaction, press 1 to make a payment from a different checking account.
So here's one of the disadvantages. Paying off all of your debt during the whole COVID-19 crisis. The banks are overwhelmed. So all of our loans that we have that we're paying off, you can't get through to anybody. You have to use their automated systems. It's a major pain in the butt, but we want to get it done as soon as possible. You got to wait on hold for so long. Not only that, you wait on hold so long you get tired of it. So then you just pay what the balance says on the statement and find out that they prorate whatever the interest was for the month and throw that in there. So even though we had what we thought was payoff amounts on some of these cards and stuff, and we sent the money and they received the money, once they showed that it deposited, like 2 days later, all of a sudden another charge was on there for like $30 or $60.
It only happened to a couple, but
yeah, but still it sucked.
It was ridiculous.
But it was really, really nice to be able to get all of the stuff paid off. Okay, now with that said, we are still not wealthy people. We don't have money just laying around that we bathe in.
We worked hard for this.
Yes, and
we worked really hard.
Yeah. This was all through planning and saving and investments.
Yeah.
So it's not like we go, "Oh, this $5 bill is wrinkled. Puh, give me another one." I mean, it's not that way. So we still need your guys' support as much as possible. Now the patrons that we have, awesome. We love you guys. You know how we feel about you, and you know how we love that we have you guys supporting us. But the other way that a lot of people, if you could please support us, is if any product, anything that you're thinking about buying on Amazon, just if you could use the link that's in the description. That's all. Just click the link in the description and just purchase it that way. How much does it cost them?
Nothing.
Not a single thing.
You just click on the link and it takes you to Amazon. You do have to sign back in.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you have to sign back in. But other than that, it doesn't cost anything.
Right. And don't worry.
We have no idea what you buy.
When you bought it,
nothing.
We
like
see
that.
product go out the door.
Yeah.
So
we don't know who.
Like in my case, when I buy my ladies' lingerie for myself that I like to wear around the house, nobody would know except for me, and then Heidi if she catches me.
That's true.
So we don't know anything. And I had somebody ask me that. So you get to see what. And a lot of people will say, "Hey, I bought something and I used your link," and it's like, thanks, but I don't, which we do. We appreciate it. It's just I don't see it. And whenever you buy something, it's so minor. The thing is it's got to be lots of stuff from lots of people for it to add up to anything.
Right.
So again, if you could keep helping us out that way, we really appreciate it. And of course, our videos. This is one of the reasons we haven't been putting up a video for a while, because we had all this stuff in the works, and we needed to get all of this taken care of so we could do this video today. We wish we could have had the cap on the truck, so we could have bundled it all together, but we wanted to share our news with you. This is big news for us all the way across the board. I mean, it's almost overwhelming. I've actually had a couple of extra stress headaches. My chest hurt, a muscle hurt in my chest for some goofy reason. I haven't been sleeping real well, and it's not that it's a little stressful to get all this stuff taken care of, but it's also really exciting. So you've got this adrenaline rush on some level that, oh my God, it's happening. We're getting to that point. But you don't realize how wore out you are. It's kind of like your kids going to the beach and playing out in the sunshine. They don't know they're getting their shit. They're burned. They don't even know they're getting burned because they're having fun. Well, that's the way it was with us with this whole process. So this is the first time we really got to sit down and relax, even though we still have stuff to do. But it's such a relief to know that our bills they're gone. We just have to pay for our existence. One of the things that, again, the video went on long, but let me tell you this too. One of the things that you got to realize when we go full time, it's actually going to cost us more to live on the road than if we stay at this house, because the cost of living here is so low, our house payment's so low, our taxes are so low. When we tell people our taxes, they're like, "Holy cow, that's like a quarter for us," or we have to pay that times 5 or something. Our taxes are real low. We have a well water, so we have to pay. We got to get softener salt. We have septic. We don't have any city sewage or anything like that. Our utilities are really low. Our gas bill, even though that could be lower, it's still real low. So the cost of being in that RV and now having to pay for places to stay and paying for the gas to get to those places, it's going to take us some adjustment. So again, with your guys' help, supporting the channel, we really appreciate it. And, the only reason we say that is if you enjoy watching and seeing what we're doing. That's it. That if you're just a casual watcher, I would appreciate it if you still did, but don't go out of your way at all.
If you have a hard time finding the link, if you're watching on a mobile device.
Yeah.
There's a little triangle underneath the video. You click on that, and all our links he usually plugs them all in there.
Yeah.
And the top, is it the top for
link?
Amazon?
Yeah. It all depends. If I do a review of a product or something, which we got some more reviews coming up, and I'm talking about that product, I'll put that link up top. But underneath that, there's an Amazon link that goes. It's specific for us. Yeah, please, if you could. Did it sound like we're begging? Is that e-begging? Is that what e-beg? Did I just e-beg? I don't know.
It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, but still, am I e-begging though by saying that? I don't know. I hope I didn't. I didn't mean it to be that way.
I don't think we're e-begging.
I don't think we're begging, are we? I don't know. Everybody's got their own idea about that.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys want to support the channel, please. That's all we ask.
It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, if you're buying, I'm sure people are buying stuff, especially now. Nobody's leaving their house. All right, guys, we're definitely gone way too long on this. We're really excited. Heidi's really excited. She's closer than ever than to just tell her job, the traditional take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. But you know, it's exciting. I mean, the nice thing is it wasn't that long ago when we sat down on our first video, and our channelversary just passed not that long ago, and we've been doing this channel for 5 years. And the very first video, whenever we were kind of introducing ourselves, we said that our plan was going to be 5 to 10 years. So the fact that we're at the 5-year mark now, and we are like right on it, that's good. That's really good. So extremely excited. Heidi, better close out.
As always, hope to see you out there. Bye.
Bye.